the AWS global infrastructure. I want to set the context for the storage class today. So we need to understand our global infrastructure. So in the global infrastructure, we want to see the region and availability zones, right? So we saw a data center across all over the world, and you are trying to create your instances, and you want to have it in a region closer to you, so that you have better latency. So it's faster for your applications, and at the same time, for disaster recovery, something happens in this region, you want protections so that you can plan and keep your servers in multiple availability zones or multiple regions. So that's basically a big picture. But let's go and look at some other regions there. So this is the AWS global region availability zone across all the world. I will take North America, and let us say there is this regions here, and Oregon is a region, and it has multiple zones. It has like 4 availability zones, 6 local zone wavelet zones. Same in Northern California has 5 availability zones. And how I would see that is that region is a place where it has multiple data centers, and 1 or 2 data centers may be availability zones. Availability zone is basically, I see them as a data center, and they are all connected and to provide high performance network within them actually. So that's basically how you'll see regions and um, availability zones. So this is North America, this is South Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, Australia, and New Zealand. Now let's go back to the class. So we saw the availability zone and the regions. Now that sets up the context. So easy to instance storage, right? So there are basically at high level, there are 3 major storage. One is EBS volume, easy to instance store, and EFS. Let's go and look each one of them. Amazon Elastic Block Store or EBS volume. So in the instance that we created in the previous session, we created an instance and we saw a storage, and EBS volume came with it because we took a small instance, and that helped us. That got EBS volume attached to it. So EBS volume, how you would see that is that it's a more like a network drive that can be attached and detached. So they can live even after you destroy your instance, and they could, like, if you set it up in such a way, you can leave, you can get the data from the EBS volume. Some of the restrictions is that the EBS volume should be in the same availability zone as the instance, and they can be only attached to one instance. As I said, the data is persist after that. Let's go to a demo of how the EBS volume works. So we go to our account. Let me log into my account, and we will create a volume, or we'll create an instance, and then we'll see how the volume gets attached to it. So let's go create an instance. Launch an instance. Just one instance, we'll just give a number of instances, and we can create the basic Amazon Linux instance, and then this is the T2 micro that comes with it. If you could see, we are just going to test and add this, right? So this is basically the volume, EBS volume that comes with this default. Last time we didn't do any changes, so this is basically the 8 gigs volume that comes with this. So we will keep it all basic. We will add that, and we can launch an instance. We are not doing anything special this time. We launch the instance. Keep a Let's keep this option. We're not going to create any SSH keys in this demo. We're just going to create it. All we are going to do is that we're going to create a new volume in the same AZ attached to this new instance, and then delete an instance to show attached is what attached is only deleted here. So we have the instance. So let's click the instance. So this is the instance. And if you click the storage, you can see that it is the EBS volume that comes with it, and it is 8 gigabytes that this comes with the default. Now let's go and create an extra volume. So this is the volume. We go and create a volume. So you can see this volume is the one that came with the one that when we create the instance. Let's create a new volume. It's called GP3. We'll just create GP2. We'll put 2, and we will keep in the same availability zone as US West 1. That is there, and then let's create a volume. So now we have a new volume that is there, and if we select this, and now we can attach this volume and say, let's say if you have attach, and you can select the instance that it was we created before, and now attach the volume. So if we attach the volume, so this one came with this we created. Now let's go to our instance, and let's check the storage of the instance. So this is what we had before we created and attached it. Now you see we have 2 gigs attached. So basically we have 10 gigs of volume attached to it, right? And as I said, if you delete the instance, the ABS volume remains. So we selected delete on terminations, yes, with this volume. So when you delete that instance, this will go. But the new one, when we created it, will be remaining actually. So let's select the instance and terminate the instance. And here we go. It's shutting down. Let's give it a minute. And the instance should be deleted now. And we can see the volume that it came with 8 gigs will be gone because that was marked a deletion and termination. Whereas the one that we created should be there. So the instance is gone. Let's look at the volumes. You can see the 2 gig volume is there, the other one is gone actually. So just for our own security, let's delete it too manually so that we are not getting charged when we leave it there. And read the volume, and that's basically we cleaned up too. So we created a new volume in the same availability zone and attached it. And then when we delete the instance, we saw that is there actually. Now let's go to the next storage. EC2 instance store. The EC2 instance store comes along with the instance. So you can see this more like a hard drive that is attached to the server, right? And when will you use instance store versus EBS? Instance store gives better performance than EBS because that's a network drive, but this is like hard drive. The challenge with this is that when the instance is destroyed or the instance terminated, you also lose the instance store or the hard drive with this. Actually, that's basically how this works. This is basically a comparison where you have better performance than EBS. You use this, whereas you want data to be safe and be available everywhere, replicated, then you will go for EBS one. That's the choice here. Then there is another choice at a level, elastic file system. So you can see this is basically a network file system. So it can be mounted across multiple instances. They can all share this, and they can be on a different availability zone for Linux actually. This gives much better performance and it can be scaled because it's across multiple AZs and it's shared. Challenge is that it's expensive actually. So it's based on the choices you have when you use what. And this is basically the high level of storage that we have in EBS. Thank you. I'll see you in the next class.